Too Many Toyotas.
Hello everybody, this is Triple T or Too Many Toyotas. Today we got our results back for the oil testing we did at Blackstone Laboratories. I got that on the screen right now. I'm going to leave it on there while I explain a few things about it. So first of all, overall wear is worse with the 0W8. The aluminum wear, which is to parts like the pistons and bearing shells, is especially worse. And it's like twice as much wear with aluminum in less than half of the mileage that we did, and that was on both samples. And then iron wear is to parts like the crank cams, like top end parts, valve bucket adjusters and stuff like that. That's only marginally worse when you consider the run time and the amount of miles. It's only a little worse. And then also shows that Toyota just uses a lot of molybdenum as one of their the additives to their 0W8. Seems to have helped out a little bit. So 0W8 also seems to have about 85% of the 5W30's viscosity. There's two different viscosity tests on there. Apparently they're just two different methods of measuring, so it's 85% of the viscosity on one and 70% on the other. Not really sure how that works, I'm not an expert on it. And then the other good part is there's no contamination of like antifreeze fuel or anything that helps out with the health of our engine and helps us to know that it's doing well. So those results are more or less what we expected. So originally I filmed the next oil change that I did, but I actually lost that footage due to a mistake with one of the SD cards. So what we did was, since we had an overwhelming viewer response on this, I actually switched it out with Valvoline Restore and Protect 5W30. I know I said I was going to do 10W30 in the other video, but if we come around to the odometer here, so we've done about 480 more miles since we did the last oil change. Hopefully you can get a good shot there.
Yeah, I don't think they can see.
So, let's see what we burned for oil. You can see, I should have showed you on the last little bit here, but I haven't added any more of this since I did the... You can see there's still about a quart in that thing. So we didn't actually add any. I just put in the 4 quarts that it required. And that was the only thing I did in the last 400 and so miles. So it's a little under a little over half a quart low, I should say. We'll just wipe it and check it one more time just to be sure. And I mean, it doesn't seem to run any different on this stuff either. But it has definitely helped. It's probably back to where it was before we started this experiment. Because you remember how I was saying, originally I said a quart every 1,000 miles, and then I revised that down to a quart every 750 miles or so. So if this is to be believed at all, if it continues to burn at the same rate, then we're right about back where we started. So we didn't really gain or lose anything. You can run 0W8 in an engine like this, but it's generally not a good idea, and you are just subjecting your engine to more wear than necessary. But it's not going to absolutely kill it. I mean, we're still talking about like a difference of a couple parts per million on all these different little metrics that they have there. So it's not like a crazy difference. So it is possible to run it, but it's definitely a better idea to run some the oil that it's designed for, which is kind of what I kind of started out knowing that. But got a couple more things to talk about. All right, so you can see I got this Fern Group shirt on. It's a pretty nice one. So we did win one of these at the Autocross. We took the Camry to the other day, but the thing is we were a 1-car class at that, so I didn't really earn it. But then the thing is they had another Autocross at GVSU about 2 weeks ago, and we took this thing out there and actually got 2nd place in SM class. So now we actually earned the shirt, at least, so we can say we didn't say we got a participation trophy. So my brother's going to talk to you some more about some other stuff we're doing with this. Alright, so this is the brother. And coming up with alternate channel names, I figured not enough Nissans would be fitting. Because yeah, we've got this. I'd love to have more. I'm thinking about a Datsun Roadster maybe in our future. But yeah, about this car then. And we bought it back in 2022, been racing it. We bought it in kind of a shabby condition. Brake lines needed to be done. It was rough around the edges with the bodywork. So we redid everything. Basically from the ground up, redid it all. But the guy who originally built it was a legend. His name was Ken Bono. He was a big name in the Central Division SCCA along with his wife Susie. And Ken had passed, well, back in February this year, he passed away. And we heard about that and we were super sad about it, obviously. I mean, it's just guys like that, you know, you can't really replace them. And they're having a memorial race for him and his wife, who had passed before he did. It's called the Susie Bono Firecracker Regional. It's on the 4th of July. So we're going to have this out there kind of in his memory, taking the trip, and should be a really fun weekend. Yeah, Blackhawk Farms Raceway, if you've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a great track. Our dad raced there a lot back in the day, probably against Ken actually, because he was there in, you know, mid-90s as well.
Yeah, he had a Datsun similar to this 240Z in here that he was racing at the time against Ken. So
yeah, we're picking up where they left off. I'm gonna have the car out there, have a great time, probably post some footage from it. So look forward to that.
So alright, if you've been a fan of the channel and you've been watching this series from the beginning, thanks again for watching. It's probably been the most engagement I've ever got on any series I've done. I'm sure this car will live on and continue to do other stuff on the channel. But yeah, thanks for watching. This has been Triple T or Too Many Toyota signing off.